Hey guys, it's Lou. I'm back. I've seen a couple of videos out there that I've really enjoyed that have to do with people sharing their own personal lists of what they think are the greatest debut albums of all time, just in general, or again, if it's their own personal list on stuff that they play. And I decided to do my same. So this is not a list of, in general, these are what I think are the greatest debut albums of all time, but it's a little bit of that, and it focuses in on albums that I personally enjoy and that I really play a lot. So obviously there's going to be some what people consider some classics on here, but a lot of all of these, they're my own personal favorites. So share your list in a video or in comments below. Everybody's opinion is valid, and this was really hard, as you can imagine, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that you might think would make your own lists or are just great debut albums in general that didn't make my list. Then I kind of cheated a little bit with by starting off with a little bit of an honorable mention category. So a few honorable mentions to start off with. This first one I think will be in a lot of people's top 10 debut albums of all time. Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I absolutely love all the albums that I'm going to mention today. I love, and I absolutely love this album. And the only reason that it didn't make the top 10 for me is because I find that I just play some other albums more than this one. Didn't have this one in my collection until more recently with the reissues. Saw it early on in a flea market, really banged up, didn't pull the trigger on it. Regretted that, and finally came out with the reissues, which sound fantastic. Next honorable mention is from the 80s, Big Country, The Crossing. I absolutely loved this band back in the 80s. I love that bagpipe guitar sound, and saw them live only once, I think, on the Sear tour, and they were great. Next honorable mention, Tame Impala, Inner Speaker. One of probably my favorite current band, I would say, and this is a great modern psych album. And a classic, MC5, Kick Out the Jams. Of course, this is their debut, or everybody that I'm showing today is debut. And the unique thing about this is the debut album is a live album. This is a fantastic album. And now into the top 10. Number 10, The Doors debut. I think on a lot of people's lists this will probably show up much higher, but and again, it's so hard to pick amongst these albums, and they really could go anywhere, almost anywhere in the top 10. Light My Fire, Break On Through. I mean, this album. This is probably, in my opinion, The Doors' best album, but they had so many good ones. Strange Days, LA Woman. All 6 of their studio albums are just fantastic. Number 9, The Specials. I was heavily into the British ska scene, and this album is fantastic. Of course, everybody knows A Message to You, Rudy, but also you got Concrete Jungle on here, Nightclub, just a great album. I saw the Specials live on their reunion tour, and that was outstanding. Number 8, The Blue Album by Weezer. Just played the hell out of this album back when it came out. My Name is Jonas, Sweater Song, Buddy Holly. Just a great album front to end that you can play all the way through. Number 7, Definitely Maybe, Oasis. I was heavily into Oasis back in '93, and this was an unbelievable album. Supersonic, when I heard that, it just hit me, and it just continued from there. Some great singles. Oasis put out some amazing B-sides as well as part of their singles that were unmatched by other bands, and the British charts actually, there was a limit to the number of B-sides that you could include on a single to make it eligible for the charts, and that was because Oasis was just kicking the competition's ass in terms of the number of quality B-sides that they were issuing. Number 6, Fresh Cream. Wild Israeli Gears is probably my favorite Cream album. This album is not too far behind. Some amazing blues rock. Clapton is just unbelievable on here. Was during his best period, was with Cream and the Blues Breakers. And this is not to slight Jack Bruce or Ginger Baker, because this was truly a super group in my opinion. My favorite song on here is the cover of Spoonful. Number 5, and I think this probably might be a lot of people's number 1, especially those into classic rock. Zeppelin I. This is an incredible album. No, it's not my favorite Zeppelin album, but again, that's, they had so many great albums. Zeppelin IV is probably my favorite, but there is some unbelievable tracks on here. Dazed and Confused. What else is on here? Good Times, Bad Times. This is just an unbelievable album, beginning to end. No skippable tracks. Number 4. Now, some people might say, how can you put this ahead of some of the ones you've shown already? But my favorite band of all time is the Police, and their first album, Outlandos d'Amour, was an incredible album. I used to play this all the time. The songs that most people know on here are, of course, the big hits: Roxanne, Can't Stand Losing You. But again, it's a whole album. A lot of these albums, the really defining feature, I think, is that they're albums that can be played from beginning to end. And this is certainly one of them. Just some great tracks. Other than the 2 big songs I mentioned, there's So Lonely. Muskoka Tanga is a really interesting sort of ending to the album. Very, I suppose, unlike other Police tracks. Fantastic. Number 4. Top 3. Again, this one probably would be a lot of people's number 1. Are You Experienced? The Jimi Hendrix Experience. This album is just unbelievable. Purple Haze, Wind Cries Mary, Hey Joe, Foxy Lady, Fire, to mention just a few. This is a incredible album, and I totally get that it's a lot of people's number 1. I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix fan, and these Jimi Hendrix remasters sound fantastic. And just look at that cover. That's an unreal cover. Number 2. The Beat, I Just Can't Stop It, or the English Beat as they were known in North America. This album, again, used to be my favorite album of all time at one point, and it's probably now number 2. Just coincidental that it's their debut. This is an incredible ska album. The Beat were my favorite of the ska bands. I had the Specials in before at number 9. I've seen Dave Wakeling tour as the English Beat, and he's put on a great show. Doing the majority of songs from this album, because there's just so many great songs. Ranking Full Stop. A lot of people know Mirror in the Bathroom. There's so much more here. Twist and Crawl. Can't Get Used to Losing You. Jackpot. Wine and Grind, Stand Down Margaret. Just a great album. And number 1. The Stone Roses debut. Incredible. I Want to Be Adored, I Am the Resurrection. The vinyl version doesn't have Fool's Gold, and that wasn't included on the original vinyl. I think it was included later on in some CDs and cassettes. And with or without that song, like it's just an unbelievable album from beginning to end. Back from 1989. These guys were untouchable at that point, and then it took them so long to release The Second Coming, which I also really love. but this album is the album to get from the Stone Roses. Thanks, guys. Leave any comments on what your choices are, and if you agree or disagree, and that's totally fine with my picks. And like I said, a lot of people have made their own videos like this before, and look forward to hearing your views. Thanks a lot.